Hi everybody, it's Christy and I wanted to share with you this completed journal that I made, and it is 5 by 6. Yes, it's 5 inches by 6 inches, and I used the new digital journal kit by Lorna, who's Tailor Made Journals, and it's called A Winter's Tale, and this is what I have left. But it's super beautiful. I will tell you though that my printer settings apparently, for whatever reason, I need to figure out what I did with printing, but it's very much, like a gray tone, which is beautiful, but mine printed out kind of a lavender color, because I think it's something in my settings on my printer, but, so you'll see that mine kind of has a lavender hue, when the kit, when you see it, is very much in that really nice gray-white tones. So I hope that makes sense, but I wanted to tell you that beforehand. And yeah, so it's great. I printed off the majority of the kit onto a 65-pound Nina bright white paper. I wanted to print double-sided for like the tags and things, so that I could have a digital on the back and not have to mat my tags onto other papers. And so that is what I did, and I think it turned out well. So I used, again, my textured wallpaper, and I glued it onto a piece of Die Cuts with a View burlap paper, and for that I used my Perfect Paper adhesive and glued the 2 layers together, and I just let it dry and set it out overnight. And then the next day I went in and machine stitched around with kind of a really pretty, I don't know, it's kind of an off navy color thread, and I added eyelets to the front and the back, and then put seam binding through for my closure. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see or not, but there's a bit of a shine and a crackle. What I did, I went around the edges of the front cover with the Distress Crackle Paste in Icicle, and this is one of the new like holiday sets, and so I got it at Joann's. This is like the only thing that they had of Tim Holtz Christmas line, but they had this, and it comes with the Snowfall Grit Paste. So but anyway, I used my palette knife and I smeared a layer on around the edges, and it's really cool because the textured wallpaper, it's got all the little dips and valleys, and so that the crackle paste just kind of sets down in there and settles in nicely and then cracks, and it's really, really cool. And then it has a sparkle because there's some mica in there as well. So I did that to the base, and then I just layered up. There's vintage fabric and vintage trims, and I printed off this page. I think I printed it at like 50%, and I printed it onto fabric paper and then layered it onto some craft felt and stitched around. And then I just added vintage trims. I stamped the number here onto some vintage fabric and stitched it and glued it down. And then I added some vintage tatting and a vintage glass button. And because the tatting, I used my Fabri-Tac, and it kind of gets a little shine behind it. So to remedy that, I just took some little bit of Stardust Stickles, and I just rubbed it over the top. It just kind of gives it that frosty look, and also it covered up where the glue was kind of shining through the lace. But I do love how it came out. I think it's really pretty. And that's the back. And then open it up, and this is one of the digital papers. And then I just took a tag, stamped on it, added some vintage trim, and clipped it there. And then one of the pockets, and the pockets are meant to go in a landscape orientation, but because my pages were small, I turned it portrait and I clipped off the little fold part here at the top. Let me show you. So see, they're meant to go this way, but my pages were too small. So I just rotated them and I cut off this flap, and then I just used the other 2 flaps and glued the pocket down like so. And then added some coffee dyed paper, a couple bits of, there's a vintage fabric and some white fabric. And then this is one of the little birds from the cut apart sheet. And the little cut apart sheet, it has tabs. There's all kinds of ephemera, little wildlife, and it's really, really nice. So I've used a bunch of those. And then there's one of the postcards, and I printed coffee dyed paper onto the back, one of my collage tags, and then this is another tag from the tag sheet, and printed coffee dyed paper on the back of that. And this paper, I printed some French ledger pages onto the back side of this. Okay, I've got some tea dye paper, coffee dye paper. This is one of the library cards, and then I just made a fabric ruffle with some vintage trim. I layered onto some lace and stitched it. And then these, and again printed on the back side, just a little fabric cluster at the top. Some tea dye paper, and the little mason jar. And then I did add stickles just because I thought it, you know, gave it just a little bit extra something, and added some twine and a little crochet flower. Another one of the papers that I printed a doily paper on the back. And then this was just a little collage piece. I've layered up vintage trims, stitched it down, added one of the little foxes from the cut aparts, and then 2 tags with some little vintage trims there. And this is some manuscript paper I folded up to create a pocket. Did some layering, one of the sentiments from the embellishments sheet, stamped this onto one of the papers, a collage tag, one of the tags from the tag sheet. Isn't that beautiful? And then I just added some words from my stash. Die cut paper. And then this is some braille paper that I folded to create a pocket. And then I layered some tea dyed paper, one of the digital papers, and then this gorgeous tag. I added some trims to the top that I stapled, and I just adhered that down. I did some stitching as well. And then one of the postcards, and this is just an altered library card that I made. Just some book page and some faux tape. Well, it's real tape, but some of the vintage looking tape. And then another tag with some little fabricy bits at the top. And then this one has one of Lorna's doily dyed or lace dyed papers. More tea dyed paper. And then this is one of the coin envelopes. And there's nothing inside, but I just layered some vintage trims. There's some coffee dyed or tea dyed paper with a piece of fabric that I stitched. And then this is one of the little foxes from the cut apart, the embellishment pages, and then a tag from the embellishment page as well. And then here is another one of those beautiful papers, and it's got the other French ledger on the back. And this is the center, and so I took one of the file folders and stitched it into the center, and then I glued the sides and to create a pocket, and added 2 tags with little fabric tabs at the top. just love this kit so much. It's just really pretty. This is one of the pockets, and I just layered some vintage lace and a piece of fabric, and then this is a little flower that I cut out, inked the edges, and then I added a little bit of stickles just to give it a little bit of sparkle, and then just added 3 tags. It's just so pretty. Just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I love that little bunny. It's so cute. This is tea-dyed paper. This is the other side of the braille paper, and I just made a little flip, added this journaling card, and then layered up another fabric bit that I stitched, and die cut paper. Here's the other end of the manuscript paper that's got the pocket. So again, I stamped the little notes, and this was a fragment from one of the journaling cards, and then I inked the edges, and then this is one of the library cards. It's just so pretty. And then I punched out from this journaling card, I punched out this tab to use, and I love that. And then here's another card, and I love these. They look like watercolor, and it's just so pretty. But it's really beautiful with a little fabric tab and the little collage bit at the bottom. And in the little cut aparts, there were a lot of little sentiments, so that's where those all came from. Or that beautiful paper. And then this is one of the Creative Expression slide die cuts, and then I just added some vintage book page that I stamped on an offcut from this journaling card. I put that there, and then I just stitched on some vintage fabric, some of this white fabric, and then this bird, and then I clipped it on, and it can be moved around, or it could be a tuck spot. I thought, you know, you could add a little photo there if you wanted, or like put the date or something. I thought that was cute. Tea-dye paper, and then on this book page I have one of the Tim Holtz slotted pockets, and I just added this fabric, and then this is one of the words from the embellishment sheet, and then I just stuffed a bunch of these little journaling cards from the embellishments inside, and then there's a bunch of these little cutouts like the holly with the berries, pine cones, and the mason jars, and then I just put one of my collage tags in the back with some vintage trim, and I think that's just such a cute little pocket. Here's the other coin pocket, and I just sealed it up. It's just beautiful. I might add some stickles to that, maybe just to kind of maybe onto the snow or something. I think that would be pretty, so I'll do that. And then another pocket with a little fox and some fabric that's been stitched, and then inside I just took one of my vintage ledger index cards, and this is a collage sheet from Rachel Roxy Creations. I glued it down, I stitched it, and then I just layered one of the journaling cards, and then this was on a tag, and I just fussy cut it out, inked it up, and layered it together, and I thought that was pretty. And then that just sticks in there, and added a little fabric tab. And that is the back. But I think it turned out really pretty. I really like it a lot, and I hope you guys enjoy. I'll put a link below to the kit if you're interested in purchasing it. It really is a gorgeous kit, and I had fun working with it. So, and I normally, I told myself I wanted to work on some like winter Christmas kind of projects, but I wasn't really sure what to do. And then when I saw Lorna released this, I thought, oh, that's perfect, exactly what I wanted. And so I purchased it, downloaded it, and created this last weekend. So I love it. All right, this will be for sale. So again, I have to get my Etsy figured out, so I'm not quite sure how that's gonna work, but if anyone's interested, let me know. But in the meantime, I'll do a share probably after I get my Etsy figured out. I have to get photos and stuff, and when I have things loaded, I'll probably just do a video. But anyway, have a fantastic day, and thanks for watching, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.